1.
I think really the exciting part about being here is all the questions we're getting from the customers that are coming up. There's a lot of changes that are happening in the industry, a lot of changes with the network, new technology, and they're looking for new ways to manage it. And with GIS technology, that's a great way to be more competitive, reduce costs, optimize your capital investment. And we're getting a lot of really good questions from these customers that are looking for solutions. And they understand how GIS works. They're just looking for better ways to apply it and to use it.
2.
I think the biggest challenge is how do you get the network out there? We're seeing so many new applications being brought on that are just consuming the bandwidth at unprecedented rates. And we need to get more fiber out there. We need to get more licensed spectrum out there. And that requires building out the network. And the challenge is we don't have enough technical resources, engineers, to be able to continue to, as we did in the past, to send them to the field. So one of the things that a lot of customers are starting to look at is how can we make better use of those engineers? How can we bring the field to the engineers rather than take the engineers to the field? And we've got some great technology with 3D imagery, we've got LiDAR, we've got the capability to take maps and bring in to the desktop the stuff that the engineers needed to go out to the field to collect. And so all that information is being brought into the desktop, and the engineers are being able to do the engineering without having to do those unnecessary and unproductive field trips.
3.
The NFV and SDN are going to significantly improve the time to market, more dynamically allocate the bandwidth and the resources of those networks to provide services on a software-defined basis. That's going to also impact how we manage that bandwidth. And so there's going to have to be more tools out there that are going to help companies better manage their network assets. You can't have literally hundreds of thousands or millions of customers all of a sudden turn up their bandwidth and overload the network. So there's, with the ability to offer services faster and be more agile in delivering the products, there's also going to have to be better ways to manage that capacity and to deliver those services. And why I think geospatial technology and the analytics that it provides is going to be a tremendous way to help manage that bandwidth and deliver on the expectations that the customers are going to have. They don't just want it faster, they want it better as well.
4.
IoT is going to be a real challenge. To me, discrete applications are not truly IoT. IoT is a completely new ecosystem. It's essentially the ability of any device out there to connect to any other device. And we're not talking about smartphones and PCs and tablets. We're talking about virtually anything that's electronic that's out there in your home. Appliances, cameras, the air conditioner, the heating system, thermostats, even all those devices that are inside your car are going to be able to talk to each other. And it's going to be unprecedented with the type of services that are going to be able to be offered. But with that, once again, we're going to have to manage the communications. We're going to have to manage the security. We're going to have to figure out how do we build solutions that take advantage of all these sensors and all these devices that are out there, rather than having one-off applications that are using dedicated applications as well as dedicated communications networks. So that's going to be the real challenge, building the ecosystem, managing the devices, managing the network, and a key component of that is going to be location. These devices want to talk to devices that are relevant, and the context of relevancy is devices that are close by.
Yeah, proximity.
Proximity, exactly.
5.
Well, I think it really is just opening their minds as what potentially spatial technology can be doing for them. As we were talking a little bit about, not just descriptive, but predictive and prescriptive. So the one I think is really one that's on the horizon yet, but very applicable and perhaps not too far off, is preventive network maintenance. You've got all these edge devices out there, and those edge devices are usually compensating for inaccuracies or problems in the network. When they can't compensate anymore, they're beyond their threshold of capabilities, you end up with a service problem. And then you call in about that service problem. Reactionary. So we have a maintenance call. Well, instead of demand maintenance, why don't we turn that into scheduled maintenance? Much less call. We avoid that call to the call center. We avoid that scheduling the appointment. What we can do is we can go out there in the normal course of a day, and if there's a device that is having some problems or part of the network needs to be fixed, fix it before the customer's aware of it. Imagine what that's going to do to cost, and imagine what it's going to do to customer experience.
The guys are out in the field anyway, they can be doing that sort of maintenance.
Absolutely.
Preventative maintenance, as you said, and taking care, well, it's not a problem yet. It's not a problem before it's a problem.
Before it happens. Yeah. You're going to delight the customers. And then once again, you get to the workforce management.
Sure.
You're not sending a crew from the garage out there, you're sending a crew from the next door. Small diversion. And when you dynamically start managing the workforce and the work schedule, you can do those things. And once again, it starts getting back to artificial intelligence and the intelligence in the network and the communication systems. An individual can't look at all that, but systems can do the analysis and can do that for them.